This is my first managed switch, and it does what I wanted it to do, which is to tag VLAN 35 and 36 traffic going to my ISP/I.P.T.V provider so I can use my own gateway router. As others have mentioned, the 3-page user guide is a little Spartan, but Ms. Google was able to teach me the basics of tagged VLANs, and I had no difficulty getting it configured. A couple months after putting it in service, my internet and IPTV connection stopped worked. I quickly determined that the switch had reverted back to factory defaults. I soon figured out that I had failed to save the configuration in its flash when I first set it up. It lost its configuration because of a power outage. Being a newcomer to the land of managed switches, it had not occurred to me that I needed to explicitly save the configuration. There is a Save button in the upper left corner of the web GUI, not mentioned in the user guide, but I had overlooked it. So if you're a managed switch neophyte, be sure to save the configuration after you set it up. I see some reviews that complain this device only powers a single PoE pass-through device, not two. If properly used, this device will power two PoE pass-through devices if they each require less than 7 watts of power. I used it to power two Ubiquiti WAP ACLR access points rated at 6.5 watts each, and it works great. The confusion lies in that most people don't understand that they may have to configure the switch's PoE settings via its web interface. During power-up, the switch checks the PoE end devices in ports 1 to 2. If both end PoE devices correctly identify themselves to the switch as class 1, 4 watts, or 2, 7 watts, both PoE pass-through ports will automatically work and power up two devices. Most PoE devices don't properly identify themselves, as this is an optional feature. If they don't properly identify themselves, the switch gives full class 3, 15, 4 watts, PoE power to port 1, and disables port 2 because there isn't enough power left to power a second device. You can override this in the web interface as long as your end PoE devices don't require more than 7 watts of power each. To do this, you log into the switch's web interface with IP 10, 90, 90, 90 and password admin. You then find your way to the PoE configuration section and manually set both PoE pass-through ports 1 and 2 to class 2 power limit. After this, both PoE pass-through ports will work, with a max of 7 watts per port. Also, make sure that the primary PoE switch you have powering that link is 802.3N PoE Plus capable, as that link will need the full 25 watts from the primary switch to be able to pass through 7 watts to each PoE pass-through device and power itself. I hope this helps some people who think this device doesn't work, or who are trying to figure out how to make it work for the first time. It took me a bit of research to figure it all out, but it is well worth it. This is a great device if you have one network wire somewhere, such as an attic, but need to power two PoE devices of 7 watts or less. Update everything I wrote above is true, but I just wanted to update. Once installed on site, with longer cable runs, it had problems powering 2x Ubiquiti WAP ACLR access points. Their specs show 6.5 watts max, but they appear to draw more. Under load with short, 6 cable runs, they work flawless. On site with longer cable runs, 1x6, 1x75, and a 100 input Cat6, they would shut off and restart when put under load. I don't discredit the switch for this, more Ubiquiti for underestimating the max power draw. I did end up using the switch plus one AP pass-through powered by the Cat6, and the other externally powered but linked to this switch for data. I am sure the switch would be fine to PoE pass through two lower powered devices. Click link in description for more reviews.